All right, so you saw it.
Yes.
I refuse to see that movie.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion? Okay, so Bryce saw it too, but he'll be back hopefully, and then you guys
We'll
can
be
go
back
more
next week and
deeper into it.
Yeah, we'll do more of a back and forth, like more of a chat about it. This is just gonna be my straight up
review
opinions of it.
Okay.
It was fine.
So that's it.
It was okay.
How was the acting, the aesthetics?
So the acting, the kids,
filmmaking of
the
it?
kids were awesome.
Okay, that's good to hear.
The kids were awesome.
Because I was curious about how they would do that.
And like and the actor that played Pennywise
With Bill
was good. He played the character exactly how they wanted him to play it. I just didn't like the characterization or the portrayal of the character. For me, so this is... I'm not going to get into too many spoiler things unless I feel necessary, but I will make sure to let you know if I'm going to... If you've already... It's a book. It was a miniseries that came out 27 years ago. That was the one of the...
That long ago?
Yeah, 1990. It was one of the cool things. So like in the context of the book and the movie, Pennywise comes around every 27 years to feast on children. That's in the context of the story.
Right.
So they intentionally put this movie out 27 years after the last one had come out. So it's...
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty dope, right?
From when they were children or from when they were adults?
No, so they put this movie out 27 years from when the miniseries debuted.
Okay.
So it was 27 years later. Just as in the context of the story, Pennywise comes around every 27 years. So I thought
these are new children. These aren't the same ones from the books?
Right. No. They have some same character names and all that. Like all the characters are the same, but they time shifted. So it takes place in 1989 now.
Okay.
Which I thought was really
I thought
cool.
they were actually doing something chronologically. Like
No.
Okay.
No.
That would have been pretty cool.
That would have been, but I like the actual release. The actual release of the miniseries was in 1990, and then the release of the movie is 2017.
It's just coincidence.
Years later.
Okay.
Really cool. So the aesthetics of like the time period I liked a lot. There's a lot of little subtle things, and they aren't so subtle. It's like movie marquees and stuff like that, so you know it's like the summer of 1989 and all that. And that stuff is really well done. The kids were good. I just didn't like the characterization of Pennywise. To me, he came off as too hokey, and then when it was time for him to be menacing, I didn't buy it as much. There are some really cool like skin crawly moments in the movie that I don't want to spoil. There's a scene in a library that's fucking amazing, and then there's a scene in the garage with a slideshow thing that you see some of that.
You see that in the trailer, yeah.
Some of it in the trailer, but that's actually really well done. But not because of the way the scene was played out, but it was because of one particular actor, the girl in the movie. She was fantastic. But so every time something's happening, it's just fucking noise. And I can understand like if they wanted to portray it as like, oh, it's very chaotic and but it's just like every time there's more than one kid together and something's happening, it's just screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs, and it's just noise, and it's like that's not scary. It's annoying. If I punched you really hard one time, it would hurt for a long time. But if I just sat there and went like this for 2.5 hours,
that's annoying.
You'd be fucking annoyed, right? That's how I feel about this movie. Like,
what an analogy.
And it's not bad, and that's not saying I didn't enjoy myself,
right?
Because I did, and I enjoyed the movie, and the movie is fine. But I'm seeing like it's so good. Oh man, it's great. I'm like, no, it's fine. One of the other things I really didn't
wasn't a terrible experience.
No, not at all. Not at all. I know it's going to sound that way with the way I'm talking about it, because I have a lot of nits to pick about the movie. One of them is like the movement of Pennywise. He does that fast, fucking herky-jerky, speedy bullshit.
Oh, like
that's,
more current
That's
scare.
fucking everywhere, and it's not scary. It's obnoxious. It's not scary. There's one scene in particular where he's really scary, and it's him retreating essentially, and he very slowly creeps down some stairs and very slowly creeps back into this well, and that's scary. But that's the only time where they use deliberate movement with him, and I was really disappointed by that. And it's not even him on the attack; it's him retreating from something.
Yeah, because the first movie, like, he moved normally, right?
Yes. It was
It
almost
was,
like
slow.
a Michael Myers slow, because
like,
that's
I'm coming
scary.
for you, yeah.
And I'm going to get you, and that's the scary thing. It's not.
It's anticipation because you know he's going to catch up.
Yeah. Again, that punch analogy.
Yeah.
If I punched you once really hard, or just flicked you a bunch of
Okay.
times, you know, it's. Like, I didn't like it, and I didn't, like I said, the characterization of Pennywise I felt like came off as too hokey at points, and then when it was time for shit to be scary and menacing, I didn't buy it as much because he was too hokey. There's a borderline. And again, it's not the actor. I'm sure the actor did it exactly how they wanted him to do it, because if not, they would have done more takes, or they would have cut some stuff or edited around it or whatever. So I'm sure he did exactly what they asked him to do, and he did it very well. I just didn't like it as much as I liked the original. And I wanted to go into this and not have my typical fuck remakes stance.
Kind
and
of
I
hope
did.
for the best.
Yeah, and I went in there with, because I remember hearing about this movie a few years ago when they started making it. And I was like, okay, this guy's saying all the right things. Like, these people are saying all the right things for me. So I'm going to go into it as, like, maybe an update to a classic rather than a remake,
Right.
And for as far as that goes, they definitely did do some updates, and some things are better for it and some things are worse for it. Like, I've been using this word, and it's hard to describe it this way, and it just doesn't have the same charm. I know that's not the proper word probably, but it doesn't have the same charm as the original. Like, it's not, I won't even say gritty. It's not real enough, if that makes
Real
sense.
enough.
Like, I guess gritty would be the word to use, but everybody uses that word for everything to where I don't feel like it means anything anymore.
Believable, tangible.
Yeah, believable. Like, it feels grounded, like the characters feel real.
Right.
But it just, aesthetically, it feels too bright and too pretty and too clean looking and too technically proficient as far as the filmmaking goes. So it looks like a modern horror movie, and I don't like the way modern horror movies look because they're not scary to me. Because part of the scariness of those older movies are the aesthetics. And
Practical use of effects.
yeah, and I won't even say practical versus CG. It's just the aesthetics in general. It's the type of filmmaking and the way they shot it. Like, this was masterfully shot. Like, it's gorgeously shot and it looks amazing, but like that doesn't
They just
work.
didn't depict the time period for
It doesn't work in the context of a horror movie. Like,
Okay.
you don't want things to be perfect looking and have a nice sweeping
I see,
shot.
I see,
and,
okay, I see what you're saying.
you know,
Okay.
you want some rough edges, and filmmaking wise, there was zero rough edges in this movie. Everything was just too clean and crisp and smooth. But I loved the kids. I thought they were great. I liked the story, like the way they were telling the story. It was gorier, like, which, all right, fine. I guess if people are so desensitized that you got to make it gorier and bloodier and weirder, but like at the same time, if you go back and watch that originally, it was the assumption of the shit that was happening that was so scary, not actually seeing it done. And that's my main problem with horror movies in general now. Is it's not, there's no assumption. It's all, yeah, check it out. We chopped their fucking head off with a rusty knife. Cool, huh? They're like, yeah, it's not scary. That's just gory. But the leaving it to your imagination is what scares you. But all in all, like, I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and it's fine. Like, it sounds like I'm demeaning it when I say it's fine, but it's fine. It's fine for what it
It's
is.
enjoyable
Yeah.
for the move.
Yeah, definitely.
For it being a remake. I mean, it could have been far worse.
Yeah, and I walked out and I went in with an open mind, enjoying the story, original story, and enjoying what I'd heard the filmmakers say about the movie and how they were going to go at it. So like I went in pretty clear-minded. I didn't want to go in with a predisposed hate for it, and I didn't. So when I walked out, my wife goes, "What'd you think?" I go, "It was fine." And she goes, "Yeah," and I go, "Yeah, it was fine. There was nothing like terrible about it. I have some nits to pick, but it was fine." And I said, bottom line, and I say this a lot with things like this, but bottom line, sometimes things just don't need to be remade, because they're not necessarily better for it. And I definitely feel this way about it. I don't think it's better for being remade. I still think the original is far scarier and far creepier. But that being said, I enjoyed it, and I don't feel like it was a waste of money or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and go, it's fucking terrible. I'm not going to be the exact opposite of what everybody else is saying just for the sake of it. But I definitely feel like it did not need to be remade.
I've actually heard a lot of positive.
Yeah, me too.
And some negative.
I've been hearing nothing but it's so great. Oh, it's so good. I'm like, you're being hyperbolic because you want to be a part of a conversation. Like, give me your actual opinion, not your 140 character. OMG, guys, it's so good. Everybody go see it. Like, that's giving me nothing. That's giving me nothing.
Yeah. Don't tell me to go see something and not tell me why
Right.
I should go see it.
I say go see it because it's not as scary as the original. You'll be fine.
I don't know, man.
There's
that 4-minute preview I saw, fuck that voice, man.
There's one sequence in the movie. There's one scene that's probably about 1.5 to 2 minutes long that you would die. You would absolutely die. But other than that,
I want to know what it is.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to
spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tracking to make 110 million this weekend, so people have obviously seen it. But you know, I'm not a huge fan of throwing out spoilers and things like that right away. But bottom line, it was enjoyable. I just felt like it was unnecessary. And I guess if that's me damning the movie, then and you want to take it that way, then that's fine. But I enjoyed it. I just have a lot of nits to pick because this is a property that I really like and care about. I will say they didn't fuck it up. Well,
that's good.
Which is really good because that's happened a lot lately where they've taken something and just in name and then fucked it all. They did not do that. Like, okay. I can tell that they went in with the purest of intentions and tried their hardest to make a really fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good to hear.
Yeah.